Good morning, everyone. In Scilab, today we are going to learn about the four topics that are complex numbers, strings, dynamic type variables, matrices. In the previous classes, we studied all these things. Today, we are going to continue with the booleans, the complex numbers, strings, dynamic type variables, and in Unit 2, we are going to learn about this matrices. Okay. First one is the complex numbers. What is a complex number? You all know what is a complex number, right? So this Scilab is provides to store this complex number as a pair of floating point numbers. This can be with the predefined variable percentage I, which represents the mathematical imaginary number where I satisfies I squared is equal to -1. So all the elementary functions previously presented before, such as sine, cos, all are complex numbers, which is telling about the input argument is a complex number and the output is also a complex number. So what do you understand from this? A complex number is going to be stored as a pair of floating point numbers, which will be used by using this percentage I. By using this symbol, the complex number is going to be defined. And for example, we have used sine. Okay, sine variable we have used. So that is a complex number, which is telling about the input argument will be the complex number and output will also be a complex number. Clear? Next example. In this figure, you can see how the complex number will be. Here we set the variable x equal to 1 plus I. So this I has to be represented with percentage. That is only we studied. The complex numbers should be represented with this. Okay. And perform many operations such as you can retrieve and you can store the imaginary parts. What we have done here, we are checking whether this x is a real value or not. Okay, if it is a real value, it will be giving the answer as true. If it is not a real value, it will be giving the answer as false. So this is not a real value. And then x dash, what this dash represents, it is used to denote, used to compute the conjugate of a complex number. What is the conjugate of the complex number? That can be identified by through this. So x dash means the conjugate value of that number is minus I. And then y equal to 1 minus percentage I. Y equal to 1 is whether it is a real value or imaginary value. Real of y is 1 and imaginary value is no. So that is why it is 1. Clear? Here you can see y equal to 1 minus percentage of I. Here the whether it is a real value or not, it is a real value. Okay, 1 means what? True. Okay, it is a real value. Whether it is having any imaginary value or not, no, it is not having any imaginary value. Clear about that? Okay. Next one is the strings. Already you know strings can be represented with double quotes, right? Like this. The concatenation operation can be represented by plus operator. Here you can see in the example, there are two variables x and y. X we have the value as foo, in y we have the value as bar. So when you give x plus y, you will be getting the answer as foo bar. Clear? So this is called as a string variable. Like this only you are going to declare a string variable and you are going to use this concatenation operation. Next, dynamic type of variables. What is the meaning of dynamic? It can be changed. So when we create and manage the variables, Scilab will allow us to change the variable dynamically. Dynamically means you can change whenever it can be. Okay. So this means we can create a real value and then put in the string variable in it, presented in the following section. So here what we have given, we have stored the real value, right? X equal to 1. So it has been returned. Answer x plus 1 equal to 2. So here for the x the value is stored as 1. That is why 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Here if you see x equal to foo, so that is returned x plus bar equal to foo bar. So already there is a value of foo. Here it has been changed. So if you declare the variable with real, it is not necessary it should be only with the real. You can change the value of the variable with the value string, right? So that it has been changed as foo. So the answer is foo bar. So with that, the unit 1 has been over. Complex numbers, strings and dynamic type variables we studied. Now we are going to start the second unit. In second unit, it is fully about matrices. Okay, you have to be clear about matrices. So today we are going to learn what is a matrix and some basic introductions. Okay, so this is the first page of the matrix. That is why it is denoted as matrices 1. Okay, in Scilab, this matrices is playing a very important role. Here we are going to study about how to create a query matrices and how to access the elements of the matrix, and how whether you are going to use the entire matrix or some of the parts is going to be used for the operations. So that is only we are going to learn today. Overview will give about what is a matrix. So in Scilab, it is a basic data type. This data type can be defined by using three different variables: rows, columns and the type of data. That is only number of rows, number of columns and the data. You will be specifying 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 1 by 1. So that is called the matrix. In that you will be specifying that is the data. Clear? So the data type can be either it can be a real value, integer value, boolean, string or a polynomial value. Okay, so when two matrices have the same number of rows and columns, we can say that the two matrices have the same shape. Clear about this? So this is the general overview of the matrices. So in Scilab, this vectors are a particular case of matrices where the number of rows and columns is equal to 1. If the number of rows and columns is equal to 1, it will be called as a vector. Some simple scalar variables do not exist in the Scilab. What are the simple scalar variables? A scalar variable of a matrix with one row and one column. There is same behavior in row and column vectors. N into 1, 1 into n. So as well as 1 into 1 is also scalars. It is good when the Scilab is designed only for the matrices with the real variables. So this will also allow to perform linear algebra operations with a high level language. By design, the Scilab was created to able to perform multiple operations as much as possible. Okay, so the basic linear algebra operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, like a transpose or a product are performed by a compiled optimized source code. These operations are performed with the operators addition, subtraction, multiplication and with a single quote. Okay, this is a single quote, so that the Scilab variable source code is both simple and fast. With these kinds of high level operators, this will not allow to use many loops. So in fact, this Scilab will be very slow with the loops, so 10 to 100 times slower than the other languages. So that this feature is called as the vectorization. So in order to give the fast implementation of this Scilab, the developer should always use high level operations such as statement process as a matrix instead of a scalar. Instead of using the scalar, it will be called as a vector. So most of the complex tasks in this linear algebra, as the resolution of the system linear equations Ax equal to b, which is it can be decomposed into based on the engine value or engine vector computations, which are also performed by compiled and optimized source codes. So all these operations are by using the common operators like slash and backslash with the functions like SPEC, which computes the engine values and the engine vectors. So these are all the informations about matrices. With all these kinds of informations, in the next class we are going to learn about this matrices and the implementation of matrices. So today we learned about what are the things we learned: complex numbers, strings, dynamic type variables, matrices. With that, in unit 2 only we started with the matrices. So clear about all those things. write the notes, and we will continue this matrices in the next class. Thank you, girls.